as well, but if you ask me whether I'm sure that any student never put anything that he was not supposed to, I cannot say that.
So since the raison d'etre of this online university is accessibility, right? Is universal accessibility. Wouldn't it make sense to make the acquisition of basic English or English at the level of the TOEFL that you mentioned an integral part, like a first stepping stone, either to team up with another online free source or to offer your own English programs from scratch? Otherwise, you're reaching only people who have a fairly high competency in English, and that's not every student you're trying to reach.
Well, let's make your question even more by asking why in order to be accepted to the university, you need to show us high school diploma. And we verify that you have that the high school diploma is valid from a recognized institution, that you are the right student to graduate, and everything that you gave us is original or is notarized. And the question can come, why do we ask that as well? And you're right. In terms of our ideology, anyone can start. Why not? Let anyone start, and if they can make it, they will continue. If they cannot, they will drop out. The thing is that we are working for accreditation, and in order to be accredited, we must verify that they have high school diploma and that their English is good enough. Now, yes, it might make sense to offer some students remedial and English to make sure that their English is good enough before they're accepted. Well, we don't do it. Maybe we will do it in the future, but there is as much as you can do. We don't offer high school level studies as well. So that's what we decided, that that's the niche that we use. Yes.
Sponsors, financial sponsors, or just out of curiosity, if you can share that.
I can share that it's myself so far. So I put $1 million into the program, and now I'm looking for sponsors. By the way, I'm here if anyone, and I have place for checks here. So,
Well,
but it's me, and we're looking for to raise, looking for more support. Yeah.
And the quick follow-up is, perhaps you already mentioned it, but is there a deadline? Is there like a cycle where students, have to apply, or is it ongoing where somebody decides, oh, I want to do this, and they apply now, and then
it's ongoing. We start a term every 10 weeks, every 2.5 months, around 2.5 months, and yeah. Next in Thursday this week we have a new intake. So every 2.5 weeks we have a new intake.
Application process to be accepted to beginning. What's that cycle?
The process is, students have to fill up an online application, which takes some time, but it's not that, it's relatively a short process, and then they need to send us their high school diploma and a few documents. They need physically to send them to us, and even that, it's things that hopefully we will be able to, not to ask in the future, but right now they have to ask to our headquarters in Pasadena the original documents, and from then, if they say, the question is how long usually the process takes between a month to a month and a half to a student, but it depends how long it takes the students. We have a lot of stories. We have refugees. Well, how do they get their original high school diploma? So there are a lot of issues, and there are a lot of people that have a hard time finding the document, sending the document. So sometimes it takes longer, but usually it shouldn't take more than a month or a month and a half, and they get answer right away.
So all of the questions up till now had to do with the social mission or the business model or the structure, and I don't want to cut those off, and I think we should go back. But if you could spend a few minutes on a different aspect of it, which is the educational technology and collaboration side. Whether you could spend a few minutes walking us through what makes for a classroom, what makes for one of these volunteer professors, mentors, peers. What's the shape of a class in your space? I think it would be, and again, then we should go back to whatever it is that ends up pulling people. But that's something that you mentioned, and that I think there are a lot of people who are interested in that particular side as well. That would be useful to hear just an initial walkthrough, and then we can come
Thanks.
back to the questions.
When students take a class, he's being placed together with 20 other students from all over the world that study with him. Each course take 10 weeks, 8 weeks of studies and 2 weeks for studying for the exam and taking the exam. Each course is divided, as I said, 2 weeks. Each week starts on Thursday, ends on Wednesday. Between the week, they have all the freedom, but it's blocks of weeks. Within a week, a student gets into the classroom and find the lecture of the week, the reading assignment of the week, the homework assignment of the week, and the discussion question. The discussion question is the core of our learning paradigm. After reading the material, each student must post in the class his original comment, his original contribution to the discussion point. After he posts his comment, he's able to see what the other students post. And then they start talking between themselves about the discussion topic of the week. A student must, as I said, post his own discussion point and talk to the other students or discuss with the other students at least 4 times a week. So students start talking to each other. So let's say it's not synchronous, and nothing is neither live or require a broadband. In order to enable students from all over the world to study with us, in order to enable students who don't even own computer but study in internet cafe, and we have some cases like this, and to save them time and money and bandwidth, we don't use neither audio or video. Everything is text-based. And as I said, after reading the material, they start discussing between themselves. If they don't discuss between themselves, they fail. That's our way to measure their participation in the classroom. They must participate in the class. By the way, usually they participate much more than they are required. They do it at their own time. Students it's just for those who are not familiar with the Moodle system, it's very similar to what we used to, well, like forms. It's very similar to forms where when you log in, you see the discussion and you see everything that has happened there or happened from day one until now. So every student can log on anytime he wants, see what's going on, put his own discussion point, leave the classroom, come the day after and see what other students had to say about what he said or anything that developed within the classroom, and continue. If a student has a question, he doesn't understand something, he wants to elaborate on any topic that is not part of the discussion but is relevant to the course, he can leave the classroom and go to the course forum. In the course forum, he will find all the university students together with our instructor, our paid instructors, and he can discuss any topic he wants. He can elaborate on any question. We are now in a stage of developing a social network, which will be our own social network, the university social network, that will be the place where all of our students can interact on any topic they want, be it academic or social. And that's the place where we will enable our volunteers to come and interact with our students on any topic they want. So that's basically the system now. They study every week. By the end of the week, they take a quiz. The quiz is not graded. It's for them to see that they master the material. They hand in their homework, go to the next week. Students get graded over their participation in the classroom, over their homework assignment, and by the end of the course, they take an exam. They need to pass it, then they get their grade and move on. Our instructors, our paid instructors, and we do have instructors, they look from the outside, see what's going on in the classroom, help the students if they have questions, intervene if they feel that there is a need to intervene, and supervise all the grading system to make sure that the students get degraded.